we record on this computer. Then it doesn't go to Mariko. Okay. So most of you guys know who Tera is, but just in case, I'll have her introduce herself after. But I sent her some specific questions. I'll ask her specific questions just based on like things you guys have brought up or things I've seen in the chat that's going on, different struggles that we are all having, myself included. I'm just going to ask her because she's been doing this for so much longer than all of us and has, had tons of experience with all different personalities too. So, Tera, you want to tell them? I'm sure they know who you are, but just in case, maybe someone doesn't.
Sure. Yeah, I'll tell a little bit about my story real briefly. I'm Tera Ulrich. Hey. I'm your presidential upline. I've been in the business now 6 years as of like 2 days ago, which is absolute insanity. I joined, I feel like most people, just because I was broke and I was already working full time and I didn't have time in my schedule to get another part-time job because I already never saw my husband. So I decided to try this instead because I could work this in between clients at the salon. And lo and behold, it just turned out to be something crazy. I was thinking $200 would be great. $500 would change my life. And I ended up replacing my full-time income in 6 months and was able to quit my job at the salon. And a year later, retire my husband from his full-time job. And it has just transformed the way that we live. Like, we lived so month to month and we couldn't even go have fun with our friends or go out to dinner because we couldn't afford it. And we were embarrassed to say, like, we can't afford to go out to dinners. But so we would say, sorry, we have plans. And no one wants to live a life like that where you can't even have like the normalities of life. And that's where we were when I joined, like just so incredibly broke. And I just worked my tail off and I saw the vision shortly into this business and I saw what it could do for my family if I worked even harder. And I just kept with it even when things were hard and even when it didn't come easy, even when I had negativity thrown at me. And I'm still here, and now you're a part of my downline. So like there's just so many blessings that come out of struggle and working past your fears and working past the hardships. And I'm firsthand experience with it. If you've gone through something in your business, I've probably gone twice as much of that same thing in my own, and I'm still here. So I'm the leader of the struggle bus, toot, and I'm here to help you guys through it.
Thank you. It's so true. Like, you've had a rough year and you've had other things obviously happen in the last 6 years too, but you're still here. So it's a pretty, Mariko.
Me too. Mr. Please, you knew it was, what is that? Major Pain. Toot.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. So some of the things that we've been struggling with are signing up DTs. A lot of the team they're getting tons of PDTs, and maybe it's not going anywhere past sending that opportunity video. So what are some tips you could share with us as far as like how to sign the PDTs? Like, what would be the bare minimum that you should be doing to get those PDTs?
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing.
So a lot of the time when I am signing a lot of distributors, I'm doing all the distributor things, which is getting out of my own comfort zone and talking about my personal struggles and then my personal successes in this business and what it's done for me. And that is one of the hardest things because it can be embarrassing. It can be embarrassing to put out there the things that you've struggled with, and you don't want people to know those intimate details of your life. But it is so crazy the moment that you let your walls down and you tell bits and pieces of your story like that is when people, they just feel a little bit more endeared to you because maybe they're going through some similar things in their life as well. And it makes them say like, well, that's how I am right now. And that's how her life is now after joining this business. Like, maybe there's something to it. Maybe I should ask her a question. And when you have posts like that and you do something at the bottom, just say, like, if you just want to chat to see if it would be a good fit for you, I'm open for calls tomorrow. And just do something like, not so like, you better join my business because if you don't, your life's going to suck forever. Like, you don't want to say things like that because that's rude, and it's not true. Not everybody's life is hard, but having a business that you can do on your own terms, that's a lot easier than not having a job right now, like some people have, or they have a job that they just absolutely hate, a boss that they absolutely hate, and you can't control that. So just talking really openly about some of the things that you've been through, that is an amazing way to get people interested in the business. Another thing is, say that you're fairly new and you haven't maybe had a lot of success in this business. Schedule one-on-one lives with other distributors in this business that maybe have been here a little bit longer. And one thing that I love to do is, if I've had a potential distributor conversation with someone recently and they've told me some of their excuses, I like to think of a distributor that has gone through those same things and still found success, and I interview them just because I know that person's going to see it.
I love that.
It's
That's such a great idea.
It just makes it so like pinpointed toward them. And I swear 90% of the time they reach out to me like, I watched your live and it really had me thinking. I was like, oh really? Oh really?
That's
so
awesome. And you never know when people are watching, because people will bring stuff up to you that you're like, oh wait, you didn't like that post or comment on that or anything like that. And yet they know all these random things about you.
Exactly. Because they're always watching. People are always watching whether they say anything or not.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of along the same lines of that question we hear a lot of, I'm too busy today. I've got too much going on in my life. You're like all these different things. I know I'm busy. You're busy. You pioneered while doing this business and everything too. What would you say, like, what do you think actual focused time for a new distributor? What type of time frame would you say to somebody for how much it does take to be semi-successful even, or being successful?
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say, things that are important to you, you'll make time for, and things that aren't important to you, you'll make excuses for. Like, I don't care what it is. If you want to eat healthy, you will make the time to make sure that you're meal prepping and planning your meals ahead of time so you don't run to Chick-fil-A for lunch. Am I right? Like, yes, I'm right. If anything is important to you, is your child's health important to you? Yeah, you take care of them and you watch them like a hawk so they're not getting into anything and like eating bleach tablets. Not that that's ever happened to me, but I'm sure it's happened to someone at some point. So like, whatever's important to you, you make time for it. Okay. So how do you make time for a business like this when it's so open and there's not real structure, right? Because you can do it on your own time. And it's like, sometimes having all that open time, you can't make time for it because you're like, wait, what do I do? Right. Honestly, with the new KPIs that we have going on right now, that we had a Zoom about 2 weeks ago, that is a game changer for this business. Like, to do everything on the list should take you no more, max an hour. Max an hour. So what if you get up 45 minutes earlier than you're used to, listen to something encouraging, and then do your work as you're listening to something building. And then, I don't know if you work full time. I don't know if you have children. I don't know if you take care of your parents. I don't know if you have 87 children. Like, I don't know your situation, but I know every single one of us, no matter what life throws your way, you have some kind of free time in your schedule. You just do. And anyone can say, I don't have time for that. Did you eat today? Did you go to the bathroom today? Did you scroll a little bit today? Did you put clothes on today? You didn't walk out of your house with no pants on. So like things that are important to you, like I'm saying, like you make time for those things. So if your business is not any kind of priority, you're just going to keep making excuses. I don't have the time. I can't figure out this. So I'm discouraged, or so and so said this. So my feelings are hurt. Okay. That is life. Okay. There's always going to be something going on that people say something and it hurts our feelings, regardless if it's about work. That's just, so ignore people that don't understand. You can't expect people to understand your business and want to support it, but that still doesn't mean that you're allowed to use that as an excuse to not work. Okay. So realistically, if you could do the KPIs twice, preferably 3 times a day, your business would be exploding. Like not just doing well, but your business would be exploding. So what is that? A max 3 hours a day. Can you do it in the morning? Can you do it in the afternoon? Can you do it right before you go to bed? That's up to you. That's the love, like that's the awesome thing about this business, that you can do it around your own schedule, but it's up to you to make the schedule.
I love that. That's cool. So you can choose that bare minimum of once a day, but if you really want to be succeeding, if you really want to be thriving and getting where you are, or where your goals are, where your dream board is, do it the 3 times a day. And then you're filling in the rest of the random times with answering messages and all of that. And that's easy work. Like that's easy. The focus work.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes. So my last thing that a lot of people have been asking is like, if you're getting, oh, I've tried that before, it didn't work for me, or I'm really not interested, or people aren't responding to your messages. How do you push through the discouragement of that, if that's something that hangs you up?
Well, just so I understand, is that about the products or is that about the business?
The products, about the products.
Okay. So people have said that to me before too. And I literally just say like, how many years ago though? And they're like, I don't, like, it's been a while. And I was like, has it been within the last 2-3 years? And they're like, no. I'm like, we're basically a brand new company. They've revamped every single one of our products. They've made every single one of our products better by adding more ingredients, more of the same ingredients. So you're getting better and more results, and they have not changed the price on them.
Love that.
When I used to get results back in the day, my results now are twice as good. And I get to show my own before and after pictures of what they've done for me. And I'm like, so like, what are your goals? And I just flip the script. Like, instead of like, after I say that, I'm not like, so do you want to try it now? I'm like, so what are your goals? Like, I know these products work, but I also know 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, the products were not near as good as what we have now. And a lot of the products we had back then, we don't even have now. And we have brand new ones that have only been on the market the past 1.5 to 2 years. So I don't care what they've used before. Most of the time it's the wrap, and it was 5 years ago, and they tried it at a party once. Like, literally, that is most of what I hear back if someone said they tried the products before and they didn't work. Nothing now. I don't hear the products don't work now. I literally never hear it.
The only time I hear it is when they were eating milkshakes all day.
Well, I mean, and nothing's going to work for that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well.
Nothing's going to work for that. So you need to be confident. You need to be using the products every single day. You need to be having your own before and after pictures so that you can send with confidence and give your own personal testimony, because that is what's going to give you a voice. And every single one of us should be using something right now, even if it's just a lash serum, even if it's, just like the face creams. You need to be using something. I know some people like have health issues, so they don't like to take things internally, or they're pregnant or nursing or whatever. And I totally get that. But there are so many things that you can be doing regardless of health and just life going on. So find a product, talk about it every day, take before and after pictures, and feel confident when you're talking about those products. Another thing that really helps with loyal customers, it's going to be the same thing, kind of like I talked about before, where you go live with one person. I like to go live with my personal customers. and they give me permission to use their before and after pictures. And then I ask them questions like how long they've been using the products, what made them start trying it, were they skeptical of trying the products before, how is their experience with it so far, what do they like the best. And then they go on and on and on, and they literally sell products for me because their followers see it too, and they're not a distributor, so they see my stuff and they're like, wait, what was that about? So if you're having a hard time selling to people, think outside the box and use your customers, because that helps branch out. It's almost like a host a post on crack, because it's actually them talking about it, and their people come to you on their own. So schedule one of those a week at least with your customers.
Awesome idea. I love that. And people are willing to do, you'd be surprised. Like, I feel like you're scared to reach out to customers thinking they're not going to want to do it. But the times I've done it, they're like, oh yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Yeah, they're happy to do it. People love to help. And if you get someone that's like replies to like, hey, or like tags you in their stories all the time when they're using their products and stuff, like I'll just be like, I know how much you love the Skinny Brew. Can I interview you next Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
And like just give your personal experience. And they're like, heck yeah.
I
It's
love
like
that.
so easy. Don't make it weird.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Tera while we have her to ourselves for the next couple of minutes? Like, is there anything that you've been wanting to know for growing your business or confidence or anything like that? You can unmute yourselves.
I'm going to scroll through and see if I see anyone unmuting themselves.
Yeah. Now's your chance, guys. Anybody?
If not, I'm just going to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so as you guys know, Jay just launched the new 90-day push, right? This is what I want to ask you. Are you going to actually give it your all and push for the 90 days to see where your business can be? Or are you just going to comment on a thing that says like, who's all in? You're like, me, I'm here. And you actually don't do anything. Because you don't even have to answer that question at the end of the 90 days. If you haven't promoted, that will be the answer. Because I promise you, any 90-day push that we've ever done with Jade doing it, you double or triple promote in 90 days. I'm not even kidding you. I have seen such massive growth during these. When you actually take it seriously, you go all in and you do what she says. She is not just, she's been the top 5 income earner for years and years now. She's in the top of the company. She knows what she's doing. She has her hand in things that we're not even familiar with because she gets to talk to our CEO and CFO like she texts them and calls them all the time. So she has a little bit more idea of what things could be coming in the future too. And she's literally hand feeding you promotions. But it is up to you to take it seriously and actually put in the work. So are you going to do it? Are you actually going to put in the work? I want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you guys promote. I want to see like all your happy tears in 90 days when you've promoted and you like look back at this moment right now where you're like, I think I can do it. I'm not 100% sure. Like I want to do it, but you decided to commit anyway, and where you are, where you'll be in 90 days. And that's where I want you guys to be in your headspace. Like in 90 days, what will you be? Not what could you be? What would you like to be? But what promotion will you be at the end of the 90 days? And you have to commit now. So what I want you guys to do now, if you haven't done so already, I know that Monica had done a little dream board party for you guys not too long ago. Was it you, Monica, or Mariko?
One of us did it. Yeah, I think it was me.
Yeah. So if you haven't done it already, please make your dream board. And I want you to be very, very, very specific, like even to the point of writing yourself out a check to the penny of what you want your check to be. Writing out to a penny, adding up every bit of debt that you have that you want to get paid off this year. Credit cards, it can be your car payment, it can be medical bills, every single thing. And then every time you pay something off, it's like a thermometer that you get to start making it go down. And like showing what this business is providing for you and just getting debt cleared out, because that is one of the hugest things, like the massive amount of debt that we have is in the world today, because we have a lack of income. That's usually what it boils down to. So be very specific. If there's something super, super crazy that you would just love to have or love to do, I still want you to write it. If you feel like you'll never get there, just write it. Just write it. When I really took my time and I wrote down every single thing that I wanted to happen that year, and I wrote it on my dream board, in my first year and a half, I checked every single one of them off. Every single one. There wasn't nothing that didn't get checked off. So there's something beautiful about having your dreams in front of you that you can see every day, and you're pushing towards that, because those are things that are actually important to you. And I want you to do things that are for other people too, because sometimes doing things for someone else is a huge motivator because you feel selfish doing things for yourself. But I also want you to have a selfish thing in there for you too, that you're just like, yeah, right, I'll never do that, but I'll just write it anyway because Tara said to. Just do it for me, okay? But yeah, I just want you to really take these next 90 days very seriously, because it can change your future. And what's 90 days in the grand scheme of things? Like, it's already July. Where did this year go?
Gone.
Gone. In quarantined. So we ain't going nowhere. We still can't leave a house. We can't do nothing. We can't hang out with our friends. We can't go out to eat. We can't go to parties. We can't go to weddings. We can't do any of those things. So get your butt to work. Come out of quarantine owning it. Like, I came out of quarantine debt free. What'd you do? Oh, you ate milkshakes every day. So do something positive with your time, because it's going to pass anyway. So even whenever it's hard and there's days that you don't feel like it and you've got a hangnail or you've got a headache or you're bloated, you're just tired, you've already committed that you're going to work past it anyway, because things are going to happen regardless. Things are going to happen randomly in the next 30 days. That it's just going to be like, oh, I don't feel like working today because X, Y, and Z. But if you've already determined that you're going to work past it anyway, you'll get there. And having a work buddy helps so much. Having someone that you can count on when you're having a lazy day or a day that you don't feel like it, just saying, hey, I don't feel like working right now. Will you hop on Zoom and work with me, and just push past it? I just want 45 minutes of work. You're totally allowed to do that. And that's going to help you so much, just having someone that you can depend on as well. But that's the end of my little rant, Monica.
I love that. I'm glad you brought that up, because the 90-day push, it could seem overwhelming, but if you start now and you actually follow what she's giving, I mean, she's giving it to us piece by piece. So it's not overwhelming. You just have to log in every day and do the things and watch the videos. And if you're brand new, it's like the perfect way to learn. So that is awesome.
It's a literal roadmap.
Yeah,
it's a literal roadmap.
Exactly
just
how to
follow
do it. Mm-hmm. And quarantine, I mean, it really is the best time. Quarantine is why I got my diamond.
Exactly. Quarantine is why I got presidential.
Yeah, there is no better time. And I mean, you can reach, if you're writing down your goals, and I mean, my goal for September when I started was to be able to work 2 8-hour days a week outside of the home, and that's it. No side jobs, no nothing. And as of September, that is what I'll be doing. I was able to check that off. And that's only because I love my work family. I don't have to work that many hours. So like Tara said, write down how much you have to make and reach it. Like, go for it. Have your why. Your why makes you cry, guys.
Yes. My why never made me cry until it had to do with my parents. And that's when I was like, that's what it is, because they've sacrificed everything their entire life for me and my siblings, and it was my turn to give back to them. And when I was able to do that,
and you kind of sneak in showing that without it being super obvious in your Instagram of you helping your mom with her house and things like that. I love that. You're not like, look what it works, let me do, necessarily, you know. It just it's implied a lot, and people follow that. And you guys are going to find out. I mean, nobody here, I don't think, has been with us for more than a year. a year and a month, maybe. So you guys will figure it out. People are watching. People are constantly telling me like, oh yeah, I saw you with this, I saw them with them, and I've been watching you do this. You don't know
Exactly.
right away, but people are, it's funny that they're watching you.
Yeah, it is. But like, that's why when you do talk about your stuff and just the things that you love, the things that you enjoy, the things that you're doing each day, that's what's going to bring people to you. So you don't have to gloat. You don't have to be like music shouting it from the rooftop, all the amazing things that you get to do. Just doing like little things, they notice it. Like
Yeah.
Monica said, like I
It's
never
life.
once had to say, I just spent this much money on my mom's house and I get to do all these things for her all the time. I pay this many bills for her every month. Like I don't do that. But people know that every time I go to my parents' house that I'm doing something for them, and it does come out of her pocket. Because I'm like, oh, look at these awesome doors that we just got for mom. They look so nice on the house. Like, not like we just spent this much dollars on these 2 doors. It was outrageous. Like things like that. Like you don't have to say things like that, and people like, because that's when people get turned off. Like just be really just authentic in everything that you do.
Yes. Show them your life as much as you want to. And they're going to feel like, we all kind of feel like we know a certain blogger, even though we never even talked to them.
Mm-hmm.
We know their kids' names. We know where they're on vacation. You know, people start feeling like that with us, I feel like, and they feel very comfortable, which is pretty cool. Because then they feel comfortable reaching out to us. Well, thank you, Tara. I know
You're so welcome.
you're back to back, but thank you so much.
Absolutely.